Welcome to the Iron Roots podcast, where we talk about sports, sustainability, and anything else that inspires us. Thanks for joining us today. Obviously, we've known each other for a little bit, and awesome that we can have a little bit about your story today.
Cool.
Maybe it's good to have a short introduction about yourself.
Yes, of course. I'm Tom. I'm one of the co-founders of Repeat. Repeat is a high-end audio brand. I studied industrial design engineering at the TU Delft. And there I met Doris, my co-founder. We both had an interest in the circular economy. And that's why we founded Repeat.
Cool. And the name itself wasn't Repeat before, but you started out with a different name. Was there a reason for the name change?
Yes, it was. We did a lot of customer analysis, and the name Gerrard Street, that was our previous name, people couldn't remember the name. So when we called them, yes, you just bought our headphone, we're from Gerrard Street, and they said, what, Gerrard? Yeah, the headphones you just bought. And then they say, oh, okay. And then we knew, okay, we needed to change it.
Yeah, makes sense. You want to be able to have people remember your name, otherwise it might be a bit but wait 1 sec, let me check this, maybe that helps.
Yeah, and we wanted to have it a bit shorter, one word, and preferably tells also about something about our mission.
Yeah, and can you tell us a little bit about that mission, what you're going for?
Yeah, we say we make headphones that last a lifetime. And when something breaks, we provide you with a spare part. You repair the headphone yourself, and then we retrieve the broken part and recycle it.
That's awesome. I think it's something that people could relate to very much, especially for myself. Back in the day, I would throw away all the headphones that I had, or there's like one ear that's broken. You're like, I'm not going to walk around with the right ear working, left ear not working.
Yeah, I speak to a lot of people, and they say, I have a drawer at home with like all kinds of broken products, like headphones, cables, old cell phones. And yeah, they just are tired of that.
Yeah. And you can help out in that regard by reducing the waste that people produce in the end. So I can imagine that it can be quite tricky to develop a product that has all those circular elements, or like modular, I think you call it as well.
Yeah, that was, I think, the biggest design challenge. Having high-end quality, so in higher sound quality, and make it modular at the same time.
Yeah. And how long did it take before you had like one thing, or like a first minimum viable product where you're like, oh, this could actually work?
We first focused on getting clients on board.
Okay.
So we started with a pay-for-performance subscription model. So people paid €5 a month, and they subscribed to a hardware service. So we didn't have a headphone yet. We just wanted to test, are people willing to subscribe to such a service? And after we tested that with just normal headphones, then we started developing our own headphones.
Cool. So it was first of a validation, like, hey, are people actually willing to pay
and
for that?
That took us, I think, 1.5 years.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we slowly developed the headphone, but it was more a side track.
Gotcha. And why did you decide that you wanted to have your own headphone instead of using those other products that you were using before?
We were designing the business model.
Okay.
And then we knew, okay, when we use a normal headphone, we needed to send a complete headphone back to us. And that cost a lot of shipment costs and also a lot of repair costs. So we thought, okay, how can we lower down the repair cost, and how can we lower down the shipment cost? And that's the thought, okay, maybe make it modular. And if people doing the repairs themselves, that's also lowering down the cost in the business model.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why we thought, okay, we need to design our headphone.
And make it as easy as possible also to do the repairment themselves.
Yeah. So when your soundbox breaks, you don't solder yourself or stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's just plug and play. Yeah.
As a plug and play, and then people can do it themselves and give you feedback like, hey, this works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And
And with the first model, we said, okay, we want to have as much feedback as possible. But also, we noticed that it was a wired model, that the first cable broke way too much. And we needed to provide them with new cables. So we had we knew, okay, in the first year we had like 500 broken cables or so. Okay, we need to change this. It costs us too much money. And that's the cool thing about that business model, that you as a company, you need to provide a new cable. So it's also your responsibility to develop a better cable.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, you need to buy a new headphone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting because it's basically a benefit for everyone involved, right? You try to make better products as a company, and a person gets a better product and has to repair it less. Yeah.
I think that's benefit both.
Yeah, I can imagine. And how does it work in creating a product that's up to par to what competitors do? Because I can imagine that you're up to the big brands like Bose or some high-end stuff like Bang & Olufsen or whatever, but you still have that expectation I think people have of having good quality headphones. Is that a big challenge for you in the beginning to work out?
Yeah, we thought in the beginning we need a price range of 250 euros. Because if you have a high-end headphone, then it makes more sense to have a subscription model for it. So the first design challenge, can we make a headphone which is worth 250 euros? Like the experience around it, the same comfort, the same sound quality. And then we started, and I think the sound quality was, we had the right quality in the beginning already. And
nice.
Then we thought, okay, this is doable.
Yeah. I think one of the first versions that you sent me, I think, was also one of your earlier versions. Or was it already like a very much iterated, like this ones, but then I think the older version.
The yellow...
I don't think we had the yellow ones. No? We had the black ones already, yeah.
Okay. That was the third version.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and this is the fourth.
Gotcha. So while the standard is there, you still need to improve year to year when there's new technology they can implement, or...
Now we start with wired.
Okay.
Then we developed a new wired model. With a cable that didn't break that often, with oval sound boxes, because we have fully round sound boxes, but it leaked bass sound. So we improved the sound quality. And then we integrated Bluetooth, dus a wireless, and then we integrated active noise cancelling. So in that steps.
Nice. And are there any like new technologies coming up that you need to put in like the next versions, or?
We want to have an app with sound profiles, so you can update different sound profiles on your headphone.
If you want more bass, for example, or listen to jazz music, you have a specific setup for that.
Awesome. And you can do it yourself. Basically, you can do it already in the Spotify app. You have an equalizer in it.
Yeah.
I think for noise cancelling, you can integrate more microphones. So the newest headphones use more microphones to have a better noise cancelling. I think we're going to do that, and that's about it. I think for the new version. But in terms of product development, the next step is true wireless earplugs. So having those in modular version.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's what I mainly use as well for sports, for example. So I think that for a lot of people, that will also be really interesting to have that as a product.
Yeah, and what we see is that people use both.
Oh.
Like earplugs for work and calling, and those just for listening to music on the go, in the train, stuff like that.
Yeah. Because I think the music quality they can get out of headphones like these will probably be a bit better than what you can get
way
out
better.
of Smallbox, right?
It's way better because you have an enclosed environment. So the bass and the mids, they are just way more clear and open. And
that's cool. So that's why most professional musicians also will prefer this over any other. Because I've seen that you've also worked with a lot of like musicians and stuff. Is it like also for you a big market that you want to focus on, or?
It's more that we think we want to tell our story via artists, because we think as music lover, artists are super cool. It's super inspiring to make good music, and if they tell our mission, I think that's a better way than we tell our mission. So we want to use the artist to tell our story.
That makes a lot of sense. Just like we want to use athletes to run around in our products, and not just telling like, "Hey, this is like a good T-shirt to run in."
So we're not mainly selling to musicians, but we use them for marketing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more like ambassadors for the brand itself. Yeah. Cool. And is it difficult for them to work with the concept, or is it also for them like, hey, this is something I stand behind because I believe in circularity?
First of all, they needed to test the sound quality. Yeah. All collaborations start with, oh, cool, I like your story, but they need to sound great. So we send them and say, just test it, and if it's okay, let's work together.
Yeah. I think that's the most important thing to do, that it's product first, and then it's all the other things, the cool story or the cool mission behind it.
And if they think the quality is or the product is not for me, it will be really weird to promote a brand via them.
Of course. Yeah. And then it's also because they not believe in it, and people will know that it happens. I can imagine it happens rarely, because I really like using them myself. But like you mentioned, it's always different people have different flavors of products they like. Yeah.
But we tested this a lot. So we only in the beginning like just fashion models, and they put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
But there was no fit with the product. They like a really beautiful girl. They made a picture with a headphone, but all the questions in the comments were, "What's that shirt about?"
Oh yeah,
or "A nice dog." I said, "Okay, it's about headphone."
Yeah, You have to know where you have to put the product in order to have it visually.
And you need to test it.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's I think a great thing to have happen, instead of just focusing on random influencer people to use. Yeah, awesome. And when you started out, was it difficult? Because I can imagine you were still studying when you started out with the idea, or was it already
just right after my studies.
Right after your studies.
Yeah, and we get I think 600 euros from a professor of the TU Delft to create the first prototype, and then we needed to present it at I think Vlieland, and that was the first thing we did. So making 3D parts, stuff like that. And then he said, okay, we need money for the business model development. We get some subsidies for that. And that's how we started the first year.
Yeah. And was it also because during university it wasn't really like nurtured the entrepreneurship, or was it just the idea came after the studies?
I think in the last year, we already decided with Doris, okay, we want to start a company together. And then we already start interviewing some people. Okay, how to do this? How do we need to look at circular products? Which are the players in the market? We thought with Coolblue, with Mud Jeans, with Philips, stuff like that.
Cool.
Just to say, okay, how do you look to sustainability, circularity, stuff like that.
And like a big company like Philips, were they also interested in like, hey, this sounds like a good idea, let's implement it ourselves? Or
they offered me an internship.
Okay.
I was fucking so guys. I just did my master's. Yeah. You know? You have 500 euros per month. Great idea. And then we decided, okay, if we really want to do this, we need to do it ourselves.
Yeah, I think in the end that might be for most ideas the best way to go about it. Maybe the hardest way, but best way in the end.
Yeah, you have some ideas. It's called, I think, internal venturing. That you have like start an idea in a bigger company, but they take also ownership of the idea, like 50% of the shares, and then you can develop it together. But I think it's quite hard to do new things with a lot of people together.
Yeah. And also an existing ecosystem where things are done in a regular way,
and culture, people. I think innovative processes are really different than running normal business.
Yeah, I think so too. In what sense do you think they are very different from each other?
Now we needed to start from zero.
Yeah.
And you need to test. It's dirty. There's no planning for it. You can't predict the future. And a lot of people don't work that way. They just want a target. Okay, in 2 months this is done. You need to go from A to B to C to D, and then it's done. And in the first year, it was like, okay, what do we need to do? We don't know. Okay, we need to start. And sometimes you go from A to D and then back to A. And, it's quite dirty process.
Yeah.
And you need to find people who can do that with you.
Yeah, and you have to be ready for that process as well to happen. It's not like, like in a year we're going to have this prototype and it's going to work. It's never going to be like that when you start out.
But you need to have some kind of planning because you have a runway, and But you need to just have a clear goal. Like our goal was, okay, we want to develop a high-end headphone which is modular, with the business model around it. So everybody was saying, that's too much. Only focus on the business model innovation, so the paying per month, or only focus on the modularity of the headphone. Don't do the same things together. It takes you too much time. But we thought, okay, if you want to have the vision of the whole circular economy, you need to build both. And I think in the end, that was a bad idea. Because we also changed the subscription model. You can just also buy the headphones with free repairs forever with it. And I think that's 80% of our sales right now. So
maybe people weren't ready or not very comfortable with the other subscription model then.
They aren't. Yeah, I think the majority of people just want to buy it.
Yeah, I think this, you see that with multiple companies that do have a subscription model. It's only like a small portion in the end of the total business.
Yeah, and for businesses it's great because your lifetime value of a subscriber is higher than a buyer.
Yeah,
and also with the repair costs, it's more easy because they pay per month, so you can have a monthly income.
That's true. Yeah. But you do have to pay it up front, the whole product.
Yeah.
I mean.
But then we need to take into account, okay, how much cables or paddings they break in a lifetime. Yeah. I need to pre-finance it.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, there's in both ways, there's quite a big challenge, I can imagine, financially there as well to have that going. Yeah. And in the beginning, because I can imagine if you're making a whole like new product, like the minimums can be quite high. Was it difficult to finance that all at the beginning, or?
Yeah, and it was crazy because we had like 16K of a how do you call it?
Like a
crowdfunding campaign.
Oh, crowdfunding campaign, yeah.
And we had a loan from the bank.
Oh, okay.
And we put it all together.
Yeah.
Find all different kind of producers, and then we assembled here in the Netherlands, but the rest was done in China, and we had like a fake contact with the factories, and it was quite. We didn't knew what the quality was, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you just hoping for the best, basically, until it comes in.
Yeah.
Were there big challenges in the beginning, quality-wise as well? That you're like, we just got this in, but this is not it.
Yeah, we bought very expensive plugs, and because we thought, okay, the cable will break here.
Okay.
At this point, so we make this very stir, but in the end, it was so stir. The cable broke here because it was a V shape, or at the jack, at
the
cell
input
phone
for the phone or any other. Okay, yeah.
So that's why we changed the plugs. Also, it was way more cheap. So it was. I think we did that wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe wrong is a bit too harsh because in the beginning you never know what's gonna work or doesn't work. It's hindsight is always easy, right? That you're like, oh, of course we should have made a decision. But when you're in the process, it can be quite difficult.
But that's the super cool about crowdfunding.
Yeah.
You get really early adopters, and they also are aware of it, and they want to develop the product together with you, and they send you a lot of feedback, and they're super welcome.
And did those people stay with you for a long time through the whole process as well?
I think they're still clients from
nice.
back in the days,
Yeah, that's awesome. I think for us it's the same with the crowdfunders that we have as well. It's a very good way, I think, of engaging people who are really interested in...
Did you guys also do a crowdfunding campaign?
Yeah. Actually, we did two. One for the shorts that are behind you. And one, I think, after a year when we started... We realized, okay, if we have to scale this, we need some more money, and also want to...
And you did a pre-sale campaign?
It was pre-sale and loan-based, and the other one was basically pre-sale only. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a financial burden after that, but I think the overall benefit that you get from it is amazing because you get so much feedback. People also want to be an ambassador for the brand if they have crowdfunded something.
And you create a community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it can be really... it's really awesome to have it do that way. And it's for you, it's not the only external funding that you have in the company, right?
No. After the first production batch, we said, okay, the quality needs to be higher. And we want to have wireless, so integrate Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Then an informal came in the picture, did a small amount. And the production partner we found in the Netherlands, they also chipped in.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that I can also helped quite a bit because they have the production knowledge or can also help.
And the quality went up, production prices went down. So it was a great fit for us.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it can be a really nice way to integrate that in the supply chain, I can imagine. Yeah. Awesome stuff. And what is like a major challenge that you foresee in the industry? Because you don't see a lot of modular things within the music industry, I think. Well, you can plug things together, but I mean more like, hey, if something is broken, you can ship it off and it'll get repaired for you.
Basically, in the whole electronics, you see products that are designed to break.
Yeah.
So if you look at the food industry, there are more and more vegan concepts, sustainable concepts. If you look to clothing, you have a lot of options. But if you look to electronics, they are really behind.
Yeah.
So that's also one of the reasons why we stepped in.
Yeah, and I think early because when did you start? Well, how many years?
8 years ago.
Yeah, it's 8 years. Yeah. So that's early.
Yeah. And with the subscription model and also with the circular vision, I think we were too early.
Yeah. Maybe you're still early on the wave because I think it's becoming more and more of a thing right now. But I can imagine that 8 years ago it was still a bit early for people to realize, okay, this is a good way forward, or even think about the concept, like, okay, it might be better.
But also still today, people don't know what happens with your electronics.
Yeah, with the e-waste.
Yeah. They think it's recycled. No, that's bullshit. It's just burnt.
Yeah.
And all the materials are gone. And if it's not burnt here in the Netherlands or in Europe, it's shipped to Africa. So it's a huge problem. And we see it also in our Google data that right now people are searching on stuff like sustainable headphone, circular headphone, repairable headphone, modular headphone, and we have search. We can do search on that. And like 5 years ago, that wasn't possible.
Yeah. It's amazing to see that unfold before your eyes. I can imagine, instead of being like, oh, no one cares about what we're doing.
And I think now is the time.
Yeah.
I really feel with more and more concept coming, okay, now we need to do it in electronics.
Yeah, I think so too. And I can imagine that it's really, really difficult because there's so many components, so many different materials that you have within just one product.
And that's why you need to start doing it.
Yeah.
Because you learn along the way. And if you start today, you can learn as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And that's also one of the reasons why people don't do it, I think, because they all see big risks. Like, okay, how do you maintain quality? What does the customer, what do you do in terms of repairs? But now in Europe, you have that the right to repair movement.
Yeah.
And also the legislation is coming in 2 years, I think. And that will change a lot.
Yeah. And hopefully that will create lasting change as well, where it's the normal way of creating products with that thing in mind.
Yeah. But most companies just think, okay, we need to update the product every 2 years. Just before Christmas, we launch a new version, price go up. During the year, price goes down. New model in the market, price goes up, price goes down. And that's also how the retail works. So you need to break that cycle. You need to think long term.
Yeah. So, which can be quite difficult for bigger companies, right? Because they have their quarterly earnings.
That's super hard for them.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's harder for bigger companies to do this.
Of course,
it's easier to start small and integrate really the sustainability part into your DNA, into the company. Start from there and make that bigger.
Yeah.
Instead of changing a really big system what doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I think where if you have 5 people to convince, for example, for one issue, instead of just being the two of you, like, hey, this is what we're gonna do for the next product. It's so much easier because everyone has their own view, their own opinion on how things should be run. So more people equals more difficult.
Also, but also the economics behind the company just work differently.
Yeah, that also makes a lot of sense because they are dependent on the cash coming in a certain time.
They make a planning and they say, okay, we need to sell 1 million headphones this year. We say, okay, let's do less because people are on board for like 10 years. Also with the subscription, and they don't think like that way.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Even though it's better for the planet in general, it's not on top of their list of things that they need to fix.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and for yourself, because I think you said you were interested in circular economy, circular business when you started out, but then headphones is quite specific. How did you get from like, hey, this is something that we want to do to headphones? Is your love for music that you already had before that, or?
I think that was a big part, but we were really open in the beginning. So we said, okay, we want to design circular products, circular electronics, and which product is easy to start with. And televisions super hard because screens are getting bigger each year. Yeah. Okay, how do you put the surface on that? How do you repair that? Same with processing power of laptops. So we thought, okay, we're just 2 guys. Can we design a laptop? I think, yes, we can, but it's super difficult. Okay, let's look to a technology which is more easy. And then we thought of headphones.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that whole process was just a lot of different things and then converging into like a single thing.
And also looking at margins. Does the product have enough margins to grow on and make business?
Yeah. And I think also with headphones, maybe because of Beats or something, but people already used to a high price point for like a premium brand, I guess, with headphones.
Yeah, when we started, Beats made that change. It was not normal to spend 250 euros on a headphone. That was for music freaks.
Yeah.
But they made it normal for the mass market.
Yeah. Because I remember, maybe like you mentioned 8 or 10 years ago or something, everyone wanted to have those headphones.
Yeah.
Even if they were fake, it was just a cool thing to have or something.
And Apple does it with their earplugs right now.
Yeah.
They made it normal to have like earplugs of 190 euro it is.
Yeah, like 200. I
Yeah.
think the premium model even more than that.
But before in the days, you just used your free ones, which came with the iPhone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how that goes. But I guess the more technology gets put in, the more value it also gives to people, or perceived value, so people are more willing to pay for it as well.
And the headphone market was behind because the screens of your cell phone became more and more HD. Processor power so you could stream Netflix in the train, but the sound quality was still bad, and now the sound quality is also on the right level.
That does make a lot of sense, because I remember my old headphones being very shitty, and then increased.
And you had the cable.
Now you think about back at it, you're like, how could I even live with all those cables through my shirt in my pocket and running around?
When I was on high school, I had a Sennheiser model, and they came with the cables of 2.5 meters, and I just wired them, put it in my pants, and they broke like every year, one pair of it. And then I say, okay, I want to just repair the cable, and say, no, that's not possible. You need to buy a new headphone.
That's maybe where the seat already got planted in your head. Like,
and
this
same
is
with
weird.
the paddings, you know.
Yeah.
When the padding tears over time, you wear it just a lot. The padding tears. You couldn't buy new paddings.
No. Or you have to like sew something together, or
you do it yourself. But it was like I know Doors, my co-founder. Yeah. He soldered a new plug on his headphone, but normal people don't do that.
No, it's if you look at like a soldering machine, like I'm not gonna touch that if you never used it before.
So I think we both felt the pain of like, okay, we throw away one headphone each year. We pay 80 euros for it, but I really want a headphone of 250 euros, but I don't pay for it because I know it will break after 1 year.
Yeah, and now you found something where it does work. And did you also have like, okay, you and Doris had that problem, so you're like, okay, we have the problem, so other people might have the same problem as well, and then extrapolate from there?
Yeah, but we searched for those people a lot. So we did a lot of client interviews and searching for customer pains.
Awesome. Yeah. That's cool. And music-wise, I think you've told me that you've played a saxophone, right? Awesome. Because I did as well for like I think 6 years or something.
Alt or tenor?
Alt. Right. Yeah, I was tiny back then. I was like, when I started, I was I think like 9 or 10.
I was 8, and I started with the clarinet.
Awesome.
Because your lungs are just really tiny, and I wanted to play tenor saxophone. Only I didn't have the power to just blow the horns. So then they say, just start with alt or clarinet, and then in 2 to 3 years you can do the tenor saxophone. And when I was, I think 13, so I played for 6 years the clarinet.
That's awesome. And then you started with saxophone. Was it ever in your mind that you want to do like a music career out of it, or was it just more for fun?
For fun, because I suck. I love it to do, but I know I'm not that good. I'm not like I need to work really hard for it. I'm not a natural talent, and like my sister played the clarinet and my brother the trumpet, and I think we had repetition 2 times a week. And they were way better than me, but also 4 and 2 years younger. So I thought, okay, if they already are better, then
let's do something else.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. I think it was the same for me, but also I didn't find it any cool anymore. I was doing track and field when I was like, I think 15.
Yeah.
And it was like, why am I still playing this instrument?
And a lot of people, when they go into puberty,
yeah,
they quit because not not that cool.
It's not cool. Yeah.
And they get other different kind of interest.
Yeah. No one was walking around in my school like, oh my God, you play saxophone. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, now looking back, of course, it's a shame that I quit back then, because I would love to play from time to time just for fun. But yeah, during that time, you don't have that. Yeah, that's where I should just start again. I think my parents have one laying around still in the attic. So
yeah, I think it costs you way more energy to pick it up again and learn, because when you're older, it's just harder.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Now you're gonna test me, so I'm gonna definitely do it.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like a nice thing to pick up again one day. So you still play saxophone right now, or?
Yeah. And also in a band.
Cool.
I'm from Den Bosch. They have carnival.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah, and I play in a carnivals band. So we I think from October till January, February, one times a week, we play with each other, and I really love that.
Cool.
Like playing together with 18 guys. Gives you a lot of energy. I really like that.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then it's like a one single big day where you perform during Carnival, or
all the days we perform.
Okay,
and also in the weeks before that.
That's awesome. So do you have like I think it's black, red, yellow suit or something? That's the colors of Den Bosch, right? During Carnival, or no?
Rood, wit, geel.
Rood, wit, geel. That's it. Okay, yeah.
So red, white, yellow.
I thought it was black in there as well, but cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So there's something more like a hobby on the side.
Yeah,
to do.
Yeah,
I can see that happening. And for the company right now, we spoke about it briefly before, but there's so many challenges you still have to do besides playing saxophone, besides having a family and doing everything. What are like main challenges that you're facing or see yourself facing in the future with the company?
Scaling is just the thing right now.
Yep.
And I think we have two challenges. One is just it's a bit of chicken egg. We need to develop more channels, but also more brand awareness. And what we learn right now is if you want to have a big like a retail partner, you have also need a lot of brand awareness, because they say, okay, you're an unknown brand. People don't go to my shop because you're in the shop. So you need to create that buzz. Okay, so we need to have more brand awareness. But to create more brand awareness, you also need to have more sales. So now we're raising money for that. So we have three big pillars. One is creating more brand awareness. We want to do that via artist campaigns, like 4 campaigns per year. And to put campaigns on Instagram, Facebook, Google, YouTube, stuff like that. And also develop more channels. So we're looking for a big retail player in Europe, like Hifi Club, Fnac. And the third one is developing new products. So I have a bigger product portfolio.
And all of those require a lot of money and time, I guess. So that's also where you're looking for new investments right now.
So having more people on the team, and more cash to put in the campaigns.
Yeah. So if there's any investors listening to this right now, they can reach out to you as well.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah.
And the preferred profile is someone with a background in marketing or branding.
Okay, so really focused on creating the brand awareness through which you can then focus also more on the retail.
Yeah.
Awesome. And also abroad, because I think you said a lot of the sales are in the Netherlands still right now.
I think 19% is in the Netherlands,
a
bit in Belgium.
Okay.
And I see the Germany and UK as big growth markets.
Yeah. I think so too. For some reason for us, I think last year was the first year we started really well started selling really well in Germany, and it's only grown, I think, from there. So it's also probably a good market.
from what I've heard here is that they are a bit more interested in sustainability comparing to
circularity or modularity. Interesting. Yeah, that could make sense.
Yeah.
I'm not a German myself, so I could not tell you, but
but if you want to do it, you need to do it in a good way. So also create cool campaigns, target on German artists. You need to know which people to work with. Everything needs to be in German. So it's all possible, but you need to do it.
Yeah, definitely. So that's gonna be a later step when you've conquered the Netherlands, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can still grow a lot in the Netherlands as well.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, because I know you, I see them all the time. But that's basically, I see all the campaigns or the people that you work with, I already sort of follow as well. So
you're in retargeting.
Yeah, exactly. I already have these headphones laying around. I need to be retargeted. Yeah. So maybe blacklist me from the retargeting so you don't waste any ad money.
Now, sometimes it's good to target clients as well, because we see the campaigns which work the best are where current clients comment, yes, I already have the product. Super cool quality. I really like the concept. The service is great. Those campaigns convert the best.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a social proof that you get from those.
That's really important.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Is there like an endpoint for the headphone or music listening? How do you call the industry? It's audio industry? What do you say your niche is? It's not just music, because I also think about instruments and stuff like that when I think about music industry.
If you look to our brand or the industry?
Yeah, I think your brand. What would you categorize your brand as? Audio?
I think a sustainable audio brand.
Okay, sustainable audio.
So everything we develop should be in that range.
Yeah. So you're not going to branch out to any other things in the music industry to make those circular. It's going to be audio.
Oh yeah.
Cool. And what is the end goal, do you hope, for the audio industry, the audio niche?
I think what we want is we want to have like 5% of the market, but the complete market. Just compete with Bose, Sony, blah blah blah. And then if you have 5% of that, I think you have a really nice company. And in terms of where we want to go, is that we want to have a broaden audio portfolio. So I have like on-ear headphone, over-ear headphone, earplugs, maybe a studio headphone, which with a really high sound quality, and which is a bit more how do you say that? Non-colored sound.
Okay, which means
no
presets.
Yeah, now there's more like that feedback of the headphone is super clear, and how the music is made, you hear the way it should be.
Okay, like, so it's not like the bass is exaggerated or the
because now we have a bit colored.
Yeah.
So we emphasize the mid-low and the mids.
Yeah, I can hear that right now as well. When you hear through the headphones, you can hear that. Definitely. Yeah.
But it's more an easy listening experience, and it's really relaxed sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also a bit more lively.
So that's why you choose the active color profile, but then for the studio you would like a more flat profile.
Yeah, because the audio engineers just really want to hear the instruments in the best way possible.
Yeah, of course. That makes total sense. Do you even need headphones for that, or is it more of you can also do that more on like subwoofers and just basic boxes?
Depends. You have also monitor speakers, so there's also speakers for in the studio, but you also need to know how your music sounds on a headphone, because a lot of people will listen to the music via headphones.
Yeah.
So you need to do it via boxes, speakers, the headphone, sometimes in the car,
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Do they also do it over car speakers? to see like how would it sound in cars, or maybe they did it back in the day because then everyone was playing on radio.
I one time heard a story about an artist. He always listened to his music in the car because he was driving around and listened to his demos. But it's quite shitty quality in most cars. But he said it's worked for him.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I think I would probably do the same, so like that, just to mess around, see how that works. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome story. I think a lot of people will be enthusiastic to learn about the whole process or the products, how that comes from like an idea to an end product. Yeah. And in the end, I think, like you mentioned as well, it just should be a really good working but also good looking product. What I hear back a lot from people is like, oh, it looks just like a really nice designed headphone as well. I think that really helps selling the product as well in the end. Yeah,
of course, because if you do things sustainable, you really need to make it sexy and high quality as well. Yep. Because otherwise you're like in Dutch we say geitenwolle sokken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you want to stay out of there.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe back in the day there was enough, but now people, they have the demand actually like, hey,
but it's just never enough.
Yeah, that's
name
true.
A brand.
Yeah, that's true.
With skilled.
Yeah.
With that kind of branding.
Yeah.
I don't know one.
True. No.
That's
maybe
why
the Prius was like an example of like a really hyped product.
Yeah, but I think the price.
Yeah.
And the performance were also quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
and I think a lot of sustainable companies focusing way too much about the sustainability part, which results in too high price or shitty looking product.
Yeah. And in the end, you need basically all of it to make people
because you compete with just normal companies.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't give a shit about sustainability.
Yeah, and they have more money for cool campaigns or cool artists to sponsor and stuff like that. Yeah, that's awesome stuff.
Yeah, we had a coach, I think in the third year of the business, and he always said, the polar bear ain't gonna pay for your bills. Yeah. So figure out who will do and fix it. Yeah. In the end, if you solve a problem, whatever that may be, then you can grow the business. But otherwise, it's just a utopian idea which is not going to work in the end. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I think been an amazing talk. So we've also done some collaborative stuff. Obviously, we use your products a lot for the shoots already. But then we thought like, hey, maybe we should create something cool together, because obviously sports and music are very much intertwined. Yeah, I think most of the people work out due to music or have music as a motivation for sports. Yeah, because we met. I think we saw our headphone in your pictures. Yeah. Now I think it was because we wanted to have a headphone. Oh, okay. Because we were using another one. And I was thinking like, why are you using this random headphone that has nothing to do with something that we stand behind? And then we said like, hey, we should be using just this headphone in our shots. Yeah. And then grown from there, I think it just adds to the image of what we want to portray as like a future orientated person who really thinks about not only their own health, but the health of the environment as well. Yeah, for us, it was win-win. Yeah, because we had like have another brand also making pictures of our products, which were really cool. So yeah, definitely. I think it's just a win-win for both. Because I just, like I mentioned, if they look shitty, I would never use them for our photos or or videos as well. But they just look really cool, do what they need to do. Yeah, sound really nice. So it's awesome stuff. So little surprise. I mean, if this is online, then people probably have seen the surprise already. But we are going to launch a capsule T-shirt, just so a small batch of repeat XR Roots T-shirt. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's awesome. It's going to be quite a cool thing. I think they've ever also because you've never done any merchandising like that. No. I think will be your first T-shirt. Yeah. Awesome. And for us, we do some collabs, but nothing within music. Yeah. But
but yeah, we use music for all of our videos. When we work out, we use music for everything. So implementing that within the t-shirt is really nice.
Yeah. And also like with music, with sports, it's like super cool because when you're in the right vibe with the beats, you can just push harder.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's what the t-shirt's about.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Just having something that embodies that music empowerment that you get when working out.
Yeah.
So for the design, can you tell a little bit about what we did with the design for the tee?
Yeah, Doris did the design. We spent a lot of time in it, and we wanted to focus on breaking barriers with music, and I think the design is about that. How you use music in sports and how it drives you to a new level.
Yeah, and it's basically what you do with the company and what we try to do with the company as well. So it's like a double message there. Yeah. I really like the design, so shout out to Doris for the design of that one. He did a great job. I think I hope that people like it as much as we do, because I don't know, I'll be running around in the t-shirt for sure.
And how much we make? 50?
Yeah, so 50 pieces first, and then that's the first batch, and then we'll see if we make some new stuff after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want it, be fast, because we only have a limited amount. But maybe in the future make some other cool things out of whatever ideas we come from.
Man.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for dropping by. It was a good conversation. Also,
thanks
a lot of things that I didn't know about the whole story. So,
cool, man.
Awesome stuff. And the t-shirt is going to be on our website, and you'll probably link on it on your website as well. And if people want to learn more about the company, where can they find all the information or follow the brand?
Repeat.audio.
That's the website.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram?
Repeat.audio.
Same. So it's all the same across different platforms. Yeah. Awesome. Cool stuff. So yeah, definitely go check them out. Like I mentioned, I really like the headphones. I think people will enjoy the whole story about it, the quality and everything. So definitely go check them out.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Have a good one. Bye-bye.